Hello, my name is Ilana Kosenko. I'm a polymer clay and epoxy resin artist from Latvia. I have my own hobby supply store. We are local and also online, and today I want to show you the different silicone types for our molds. So in our store we have I think about 600 different silicone molds. We manufacture them ourselves. We use only handmade techniques without specific factory equipment. We use only a vacuum chamber to pump and the gas silicone, so it don't have any air bubbles. But that's why we can provide for you to choose the silicone type that is most appropriate for your needs. Because we manufacture our molds after your order. And I will tell you a little how the different silicone types what is the difference with this in these types. So the main indicator is a shore hardness number. So each silicone has its own hardness number. It is, for example, 10s, 22, 24, 32. Yes, this is shore hardness number. This shore hardness number means how flexible and soft the mold is. The smallest shore hardness is 0, this one. This will be the most soft silicone ever. However, this isn't very convenient and comfortable to use with harder materials like bakeable clay, because it won't hold its shape when you are filling the form in. Yes, when you try to squish it. And the one of the most hardest shore hardness is 50. I even don't have an example. I have only the one for 45. It's very hard. Yes, it isn't very stretchy. I can't squeeze it the same way as this one. Here you can see I can use it such a way. Here I can't make it, and this hardness is quite near as hard as the car tire. This hardness won't allow you to extract the models comfortably. So for different types of our handicrafts, we can use different silicone types. So we are working with Italian high quality silicone. It is on platinum catalyst. So this silicone is food grade, so you can also use any of these kinds with food, but still with European regulars, the one that most appropriate for chocolate is the red one. Still, it's quite hard and it's not very convenient to work with it, for example, with chocolate. Still, you can use another one and it will be okay. So all the silicone types withdraw the temperatures from -40. This is 104 grades Fahrenheit to 200 grades Celsius or 392 grades Fahrenheit. So in our store you can choose 4 different types. The first one which we are using the most is the blue one. It has shore hardness 22. As you can see, it is quite flexible. We have it also in white color, but we mainly use the blue one. As you can see, it stretches well. For example, if you are using the bakeable polymer clay, you can bake the mold with the detail and then take the detail out, or you can freeze the mold with clay and then you will be able to take the detail out. If you will try to take unbaked clay from this blue mold, you definitely will spoil your detail a bit, because this is quite hard for such movements. For example, if you will use this one, it will be better because it's softer. But still, so the main silicone we use is blue. The next is transparent silicone. This silicone can be in various hardness. We have it in 0, 10, also we have 18, 20, 24, and also hard, but we do not use the harder versions. So we use, if you choose the transparent silicone, then the hardness we choose ourselves. If it is a deep mold, we will take a softer silicone. If it is non-deep mold, we will use the 24 hardness. This will be the best one. I can tell that this transparent silicone is the best for epoxy resin, for UV resin, because you can see through it, and if there will be any air bubbles, then you will be able to see them and to take them out, for example, with something sharp, small items. Yes, toothpick you can surely use to take these air bubbles out, because the shape, for example, this is quite difficult, and there may be air bubbles. Also, you can use this shape for soap, for wax also, but still for wax and soap I recommend mostly this one. I will tell about it a bit later. So if it will be deep mold, we will take the silicone times it is more softer, and if it will be non-deep, it will be the 24. Also, there is middle 18 hardness, but no, we're using it and not so often. Also, if you're working with UV resin, then you need, so the UV stars go through the silicone. So this is the only silicone that can be used with UV resin. In this one, the UV stars won't go through, and your work won't cure. So this about transparent. And now about orange silicone. This silicone has shore hardness 10. It's quite soft, stretches good. Here you can see how it happens. I like this one, a bit squishy. So if you're using it for soap, for wax, also for marshmallow clay, it's easy to stretch it and take the detail out. For marshmallow clay, you also can use freezing. It will be easier to take the detail out. But as you can see, this is the most softest silicones. For example, we have this silicone in orange and in transparent color. So these ones are both good. Now, next one is red terracotta silicone. This silicone hardness is 32. This is a hard silicone. I do not recommend it for deep forms. Also, for this one, it will be very difficult to take these details out because it is hard. Because this is the only silicone that has European certificates for food grade, so a lot of crafty people use it, but still you need to know it is quite hard. It can't be bent or stretched very easily, so take this into consideration when you are working with our molds. What about life cycle of silicone molds when you're working with epoxy resin. So when you work with epoxy, you should know that none of the silicones will last forever. Each silicone has its own life cycle, and after several uses you will see the first white places, because silicone starts to spoil, I can say so. So one silicone mold can be used for about 25-30 uses maximums with the resin. This depends on how aggressive your resin is. After that, the silicone mold loses its properties and qualities. It can start to tear. The little parts can start to tear out of the mold, and you will need to replace the mold. So you must know about this. I will try to find in a moment how silicone starts to look after uses. So I have found the examples. So you can see this is completely new silicone mold. So this also is new, how it looks. And then starts the usage. If you have used the silicone mold only several times, it will start to look such a way. You can see the difference. The new one, a used one. The more you use the silicone with epoxy resin, only with epoxy resin, the more usage is done. Here you can see the same silicone mold after a while. I think we can use this silicone mold maybe for 5-6 times more, but then I think it will start to tear. This one still is usable. You can also see a little through it, but still it's not the same anymore. So this is only about epoxy resin. If you are working with another materials like polymer clay, so you can use this mold for I think it's lifelong mold, because the silicone is very quality and there won't be any issues to it. And what's next? I wanted to tell you yes, I wanted to tell you once more about how to extract these details made of the polymer clay out of the difficult or deep details. So you fill the shape, and then the best way is to freeze it with details inside. I have another video how I'm filling up the mold of raspberries. There you can see how the frozen model is taken out. Yes, because while the clay is frozen, it is quite hard, and you are able to take it out. Yes, or you can bake it in the mold. You can choose the way you like more. So I think this is the main information I wanted to tell you about the different silicone types. I hope this will help you to choose the appropriate silicone type for your mold. Also, if you are going to choose a transparent one, you can write in the comments to your order that you want, for example, the soft one. Yes, then we will make your mold from the soft silicone. If you don't write this information, then we will choose the silicone type ourselves. Yeah, but most often this is hardness 24. So thank you for being with me, and bye bye.